What's up, everybody? The DCEU has come to an end with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. There will be spoilers in this review, so unless you just don't care about those, go ahead and save this video for once you've seen the movie, and I hope to see you back here whenever that is, whether it's when it comes out on Max, or if you're going to head out to the theater this weekend, sometime during the week next week, whenever. With that warning out of the way, though, let's talk about Aquaman 2. I'm going to get the cons out of the way right away. As always, in this first one I'm going to talk about is a major nitpick, so don't take it all too seriously. It's just something I wish was different. It didn't really affect my experience with the movie. That being the usage of Aquaman and Ocean Master's suits from the end of the first movie. Orm doesn't even really have a suit. He doesn't even touch that old suit, which, I guess he was a prisoner and they don't want to get it out and everything, but I still would have liked to see it. He's just got a plain Atlantean bodysuit, and Aquaman spends a decent amount of time with the stealth suit, which is it's cool when you go stealth, but other than that, it's just kind of boring and plain clothes. But like I said, a major nitpick on my part, not a true issue for the movie. But there were some real issues with said movie. The first being some shaky VFX. I thought the first movie looked real damn good in this area, and while this one had parts that were visually stunning, the VFX were shaky at best. On top of that, the writing was kind of tough. Not the worst the DCU has seen, but you definitely felt all those reshoots, rewrites, and developmental hell throughout the movie. The final battle was also kind of anticlimactic, and I think it's kind of because of this. Like, King Necrus gets free, and not even 5 minutes later, he's just dead. And the big threat that's built up the whole movie is just taken care of like that. But the writing might not need to take the entire blow because the editing was rough. It felt like they wanted this movie to be as short as possible, and it really ended up doing some damage. There were multiple emotional moments cut right as they were getting started and getting to the good stuff, then you're thrown to something else. It was just really, really weird. That's it, though. Those are my only complaints personally, and it's not a ton, but these last two did have a pretty big impact on the movie, so just keep that in mind. Moving on to the pros of the movie, I've got quite a few here because I actually enjoyed the movie a decent amount, unlike most people so far. Kicking this section off is the locations used for the movie because dadgummit, James Wan did it again. It was great to see our familiar little lighthouse where Boba Fett lives, but the new locations were just as great as the ones in the former movie. Then, I've got one that might end up being controversial here, but the comedy did actually work for me. I guess that just goes to show, as always, comedy is subjective and people have different tastes for it, but it felt like the first movie to me, and that's my favorite DCEU movie, so it worked. A lot of people were also roasting it based on the bits in the trailer and the leaked footage from this week with no context to them, but when you see the movie, none of it's really out of place like people were freaking out about. Like, they're mad that Jason Momoa's Aquaman is making jokes when his kid's stolen, but once Junior gets taken by Manta, they drop the act and it gets serious, so I thought the tone throughout the movie was handled just fine. Next up, I just want to take a second to acknowledge James Wan for his direction on this movie. That man went through hell on this production and came through and delivered what I personally believe is a movie that had absolutely no right being as good as it was given those problems throughout its production. I also want to acknowledge the cast as they really brought it. I mean, every single one of the main cast members was good to great. That's Jason as Aquaman, Patrick Wilson as Orm, who was the star of the movie. He absolutely stole the show. Yaha was great again as Manta, even though I'm not 100% sold on the role. I don't hate it. I don't love it. That's why he's not in either section here. It's like the first movie, man. It could have been better, but it could have been worse too. Then Nicole Kidman was good. Randall Park was a super fun addition to the cast. Boba Fett did his thing. Dolph Lundgren did his thing, and even Amber Heard, who I never thought I'd be praising, delivered a good performance. And saving the absolute best part of the movie for last, that's the action sequences. They were absolutely astonishing in this movie as they were creative and fun, utilizing all the wackiness that comes with Atlantis, its hydro weapons, Black Manta's weaponry. All of it was super cool and well used, and just Aquaman's powers, man. I loved it all. And you even got little Junior using his powers to talk to the goldfish. It was such a cool little scene. I loved the whole anything that had to do with action or the use of Aquaman's powers. I loved it. Listen, this movie certainly was not without issue, as I mentioned, but it's a damn fun movie. Grab some popcorn or some candy and just kick back for the journey to end of a weird, weird decade for this DCEU. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is going to land at a 7 out of 10 for me personally, and that's heavily influenced by both the action sequences and Patrick Wilson's performance as Orm, who's had a great arc over these two movies. But let me know what you thought of the movie down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.